This is Kugan Cassius for IFLTV. It is fight week for Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. Delighted to be joined by an absolute legend that is Mr. Lennox Lewis. How are you, mate?
I'm good. What's happening?
When did you get in?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Fight week.
Big fight week here.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't feel like a fight week, especially in heavyweight boxing, unless obviously you're around somewhere. So you are around this week. So let's jump straight into it. What's your original thoughts about this fight between Joshua and Dubois?
I thought it's going to be a good fight. A lot of people don't realize British fights are big. They're just like world championship fights because it's like two British strong guys are going to fight each other. So it's like, right now the top man is Anthony Joshua, but Daniel Dubois is being on the outside. He's been sitting back. He's quiet. He doesn't say too much. But, over his last showings in the ring, he's taking the right steps and he's winning the right way. So he's definitely has the right to be here.
Frank Warren has been kind of banging the drum for Daniel Dubois over the last few years, even for a fight with Anthony Joshua. But in what you're saying there, obviously Daniel Dubois' last two performances against Baby Miller and in particular Filip Hrgović has made this contest with Anthony Joshua very intriguing now.
Very intriguing. He's won properly. He's boxed. He's done the work. And this is the spot he wants to reach. He wants people to look at him serious. And, in order for people to look at him serious, he's got to beat the number one guy out there.
Lennox, a few people that I've spoke to have kind of said the same thing. I wanted your thoughts on this, that if Dubois was to take the volume of punches he took against Filip Hrgović against somebody like Anthony Joshua, then this could be a different night for Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, I know, he's the quiet guy. Daniel's the quiet guy. He doesn't really say too much, but you know what he's thinking. And he's thinking he wants to be top man. In order to be top man, he knows that he has to put in the work. He can't get there. They can't give it to you. They gave you the belt. Now you got to defend it. It's hard to get a belt, and it's even harder to keep it.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that, obviously Daniel Dubois was elevated to full IBF champion. There's been a lot said about whether this should be for a world title, etc., because the champion is OLEKSANDR USYK, who obviously was stripped of the IBF title because he couldn't fulfil the commitments, which we know that everyone's been in this situation. Say everyone, only a few people have been in this situation.
I've been in this situation. It's like, you box one guy, you go and sit down for a minute, and there's like four guys saying, you got to fight me, you got to fight me, you can only fight one guy at a time. And if you don't fight that guy, then all of a sudden they take away your belt. I don't think that's fair, and but it's happening.
It is happening, and it's something, especially with the IBF, that obviously we're used to. They're quite stringent with their mandatories, etc. So the situation is what it is. How much of a shock would it be to you and the public even if Dubois was to beat Joshua?
It wouldn't be a shock because I would say he did the work getting there. He's boxed a couple of good guys, and now he's boxing the number one guy and see if he can, do the same thing he did with the other guys that he boxed. As simple as that. It's just basically, you're going up in grades. This is another grade. He's been at the 5th grade. Now he's going to the 6th grade.
A lot has been made over Joshua's last year and a half, obviously under new trainer Ben Davison, his last 3 wins, etc. Have you seen enough of a difference in Anthony Joshua over those 3 fights to make him a different fighter, where you'd think of him differently if he was to fight Usyk for a 3rd time, or even this fight with Dubois, or a Tyson Fury, etc.?
Yeah, people get judged over their work and what they've done, and what he's done is what he was supposed to do. He's knocked the people that were put in front of him out, and he was supposed to do that, and he did it. Now he's got a different guy. He's got Daniel Dubois. When this fight happened and the results of this fight's happening, people will look at him and say, this is a good step for him. This was a good test for him. So I believe that.
His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh has stated that if Joshua is to win this fight, regardless of the result between Fury and Usyk, he will make a play to make that Fury-Joshua fight. I know you want to see that. As fans, we've been starved of that fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing, especially as Brits. But do you think finally next year, whatever the outcomes are, we do get to see that fight between Joshua and Fury? And right now, who do you back?
I back Turk Al-Sheikh. I think he's doing great for boxing, and this is what we needed. A man of his stature and the kind of money and things he's putting behind boxing. This is what we want. We want to make boxing big again, and he's really helping that. But as far as the fight happening, of course the fight has to happen. Everybody wants to see that. We've been waiting for that fight for ages, and I'm sure we're going to get it with Turk Al-Sheikh. He will want this fight, and the fight will happen.
You had so many fights where like people were always wondering, is Lennox going to fight this person, whether it's Holyfield, whether it's Tyson, whoever, Bruno, etc. And we got those fights, but we're living in an era now where like the biggest fight that's been talked about for so long, we are still waiting for.
Yeah, and we're going to get it. So I don't have no concern about that. Turk Al-Sheikh's going to put that on, and we're going to get a great boxing epic event.
Just a couple more things before I let you go, Lennox. Fury Usyk obviously will happen on the 21st of December. Can Tyson Fury put the wrong right that happened in Riyadh back in May in December? Can he do it?
Yeah, I mean, I look at Tyson Fury. He's an up and down guy. He goes up and goes down. I think he'll look back at this fight and realize there's a couple things he should have done and will do. I think Alexander Usyk is a great fighter. He's got a great mental behind him. You know, his country's at war, and even when they fight in a year or so or whatever, you know, he's gonna still think he's at war, and he's gonna go in the fight. It's gonna be a serious fight. I can't wait to see it.
You're not swaying towards either camp right now, Fury or Usyk. Who will win that rematch?
No, but what I'm saying is, you know, Fury knows what he needs to do. He's been at the bottom. He's been at the top. He's been at the bottom. He's been at the top. Right now, he's at the bottom, trying to get back up to the top. He knows the route to get there. So I think it's going to be a great fight. I think he wants to be undisputed as well. So when he looks back at the fight, he's going to say there's a couple things he should have done, and he's going to go in there and do them.
Just finally, Lennox, before I let you go, I've got to ask you about obviously the upcoming fight in November between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I mean, your overall thoughts on this fight? Everyone's got their kind of mixed opinion whether the fight should even be happening, etc. Should Mike Tyson be fighting Jake Paul? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I don't think Jake Paul can hurt Mike Tyson. That's what I think. I think you know, Mike Tyson's going to go in there. He basically has to catch up to Jake Paul because Jake Paul is not going to be there and trying to get hit by Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson really knows how to break down opponents, and I think the fight with Jake Paul is going to try and break him down and take him out.
Okay. And you're happily retired, yes?
I'm happy.
Have you had offers?
Yeah, I have, but they haven't been serious enough.
If they were serious, you're indicating that... I'm not trying to clickbait you here, Lennox, honestly. But you've had offers, but you don't think they're serious enough for you to think about them?
I don't think they're serious enough for me to really break down. And for me to get back in the ring, I would have to be training for like at least 3 years more to catch back up.
3 years?
Yeah, it would take me 3 years to catch back up to what I've lost.
So you'd be what, 50 what then?
Good one. Good one.
Listen, I think you're doing the right thing, whatever you're doing, and yeah, your name's etched in world boxing history. So yeah, maybe leave it there. Maybe.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Have you got anything else you'd like to add, Lennox, before we finish?
No, that's it. I'm good.
Cassius here with Lennox Lewis for IFLTV. Thank you very much.